need it, we will be able to bring that into you and get it to you, but I just don't want it floating around the jury room. So it's Exhibit 55 in this matter. In closing, let me remind you that it is important that you follow the laws spelled out in this case in deciding your verdict. There are no other laws that apply to this case. Even if you do not like the laws that must be applied, you must use them. For 2 centuries, we have lived by the Constitution and the law. No juror has the right to violate the rules we all share. Let me make an inquiry of counsel. State, has the court erred in giving any instructions, or are there any additional instructions that the court needs to give? Defense, court erred in any instructions, any additional instructions I need to give? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what's going to happen at this point. We're going to send you back into the jury room to start your deliberations. I have told you what time to be here in the morning, what time to take a break, when to go to lunch, sometimes a little late like today, but I'm not going to be doing that anymore. It's going to, it will be in your control as to how long you wish to deliberate. We're going to let you deliberate for a while. We may check with you in a couple of hours if you've not reached a verdict to see whether or not you wish to continue deliberating or whether you wish to break. I'll go over that with you at a later point. But we will send everything back there to you. The time frame is now in your hands to do what you want to do with. The deputy, Jeff, or somebody else will be right outside the door. That's a double door. If you knock on it, knock hard so he can hear you. We can't hear anything that's going on there, but he'll be listening pretty carefully on that. There are 16 of you. 4 of you are alternates, and we're going to ask you to stay in the courtroom and not go back. They are juror number 108, 110, 118, and 120, the last 4 of you there. Let me tell you, your job in this case as an alternate juror is critical. I've tried many cases, both in criminal and civil, where a juror has gotten sick. We didn't have an alternate. We had to retry the whole case. Jurors are an important part of the jury, and we appreciate your being on it, but I am going to ask you to stay seated. I have special instructions for you I'm going to give you once our jury retires. Is there any reason to state why the jury should not retire at this point? Defense? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. If the 4 of you will remain a moment, I appreciate it.
All right,
yeah, I'm going to do that in a minute. Okay. Let me ask the 4 of you, do you have anything back there? Okay. Jeff, can you just take them back so they can pick up their stuff and bring it out here? I need to talk to them out here. So please don't discuss the case at all. Just come right back out. We're going to wait here for you. Folks, you can be seated. What I am going to ask the state and defense to do, if you would look at the exhibits and confirm that only those items in the evidence are going back, and that any item that was not received in evidence is not in the stack. We'll get those in one stack, confirm that on the record, and then the deputies can take it back. The only one I want to hold is Exhibit 55 because it's a live ammunition. You didn't leave anything back there, sir? Okay. Yeah. I'm assuming you have no objection to the jury taking their pads back with them?
No. No, Your Honor.
Okay. That can go back. Yeah. You can sit any place. That's okay. Have a seat, folks. I know that each one of you would make an outstanding contribution during the deliberation process. I know that all of you have been very attentive. I've been watching the jurors throughout the course of the trial. Under our Constitution, though, no more than 12 and no less than 12 jurors are allowed to render a verdict in this case, and that verdict has to be unanimous. So I can't allow you to actually participate at this time during the jury deliberation process. Normally, we would excuse you at this point, but in this type of a case, we do not. I do not know if there is going to be another phase to this trial, as we've discussed, remember, during our jury selection. So what I'm going to do at this time is excuse you from the courtroom, but not excuse you from jury service in this matter. I'm going to remind you that you remain under court order in this particular case, and that you are not to discuss this case with anybody. not to read anything in the newspapers, not to listen to any reports, as anything at all, because if the second phase is necessary, I'll be asking you to return to participate in the second phase of this trial. That's a difficult thing for you to do because you're home curious what's going on. You're wanting, wait until that door closes. You're wanting to make sure, see what's going on and pay attention, and yet I'm telling you, do not watch the news, do not read the newspaper. We'll know fairly soon, but I do need you to stay active as members of this jury in case we need you in the second half to participate in this case. Now, we do have that scheduled to begin fairly quickly once the jury reaches a verdict if it becomes necessary. In the second phase of the trial, I'll tell you when that is. We're going to get some phone numbers so we can keep you informed by calling you. You won't have to check with us, and we'll check with the clerk on it. She has some phone numbers, but I'm going to ask her to give you the number she has with a blank sheet of paper. Maybe Dave has it. Huh? Oh, okay. We need to give it to the jurors and have you write down the numbers we can contact. You may have, for example, given us a home number. We may need your cell number. We need something that we can contact you on, more than one number if at all possible. And sometimes the numbers aren't always accurate. It's on the jury information sheet. As soon as we know if the second phase is going to be necessary, we will contact you by the number you have provided to us and let you know. But again, I remind you that you remain under the order of this court, and you cannot discuss this case with anyone, and you cannot read or listen to anything about this case, and make sure that nobody contacts you. At this time, we're going to thank you very much. You have spent a lot of time here. We appreciate it. You have been very involved in the process, and we appreciate that also. I'm going to excuse you from the courtroom, ask you not to speak with any of the attorneys, certainly not to speak with any of the press in this matter. And again, just stay available. If you go someplace, there aren't many, but if you go someplace where your cell phone is the number you left and your cell phone doesn't work, you probably need to let us know that so we can reach you at another number. That becomes important. There are a few places every once in a while we go to some place and our cell phone doesn't work, and the first reaction is, oh my God, my cell phone doesn't work, and the second reaction is, oh my God, my cell phone doesn't work. Great, I get some quiet. But what I do need you to do is make sure you're available to us. Your notepads that you have there, I told you that nobody would look at those. That's true. They are going to be locked up. If you come back to finish up on this jury, they will be returned to you at that time, okay? State, do you wish any additional instructions given to the jury?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, Mr. Mosley or Mr. Naku, any additional instructions to be given to the jury? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have the deputy show you out. Keep your juror badges because you're still active with the jury, and we will be back in touch with you. Okay, thank you so much. Will you make sure, Jeff, about the numbers?
Yep.
Thank you. You can take that with you if you'd like.
Not your pad.
Just leave the pads here. Make sure you get those numbers from Jeff when he's done. Jeff, if you could just take them outside, do it out there, please. State, have you looked at all of the exhibits in this matter? Mr. Allman or Mr. Williams?
Yes, we have.
And are you comfortable that the exhibits on the table can go back to the jury?
Yes, sir.
All right, and defense, same way? Are you comfortable they can go back to the jury?
Yes.
Okay, all except Exhibit 55. Madam Clerk, if you'd pull that out, please. All right, thank you. They can all go back to the jury. Mr. Altman, while we're waiting for the jury, again, you're welcome to leave your cell phone or contact. You know how to do that. It's not an issue with Mr. Williams. Same way with defense counsel. You're not all required to be here unless you want to be here, but make sure somebody has a contact so we can get going. I'm assuming, are we going to take, Dave, are we going to be taking Mr. Okafor downstairs?
I guess that's
Okay, probably easier for him.
the best thing for him to
All right,
just
and
relax a little bit.
then if we have a question or anything, we can bring him up. Mr. Okafor, at this point in the trial, you've been ably represented by 4 attorneys, your army over there, so to speak. Have you been satisfied with their representation? Have they done everything you wanted them to do? Did they fail to do anything that you didn't want them to do? That was a bad question. Did they fail to do anything that you wanted them to do? Huh? Did he? Well, it was funny. That's why. Did they fail to do anything you wanted them to do? Okay, very good. We will let you know. I'm sure Mr. Mosley will let you know what's going on, and we won't do anything up here without making you aware of it, okay? Thank you, sir. All right. Unless any of the attorneys have anything, we'll be in recess. Well, they can ask for one if they want. If they need anything, they'll ask us. Do we have a computer that we could show, they could look at the videos on that doesn't have other things on it? If you find one, we won't need it. The problem is if we have a request, that's what creates the difficulty. All right, folks, let me talk to you both now. We know it's a little bit of our timing. This doesn't have to be on record. This will be on.
You got it.
Dave.
That's exactly what you're just like it.
Well, I'm going to go back and try to get starting right?
Dave, you know what might be helpful?
Yeah, I hope they're not to that yet. Did they look?
Yeah,